or that. I put it for and off learning. For learning means, as you know as teachers, that it causes students to learn. We call it formative feedback. It helps us learn. My goal is not to give you a mark. My goal is to cause you to think and come up with the process of this phenomenon. The question number 2, I modified it. If I were to teach a class, I would have moved to the question that gets to the cause. So why do you think the tilt matters? And even if people answered the right question, sometimes the right answer can go for the wrong reasons. Has it ever happened to you? And that's what we want to know. I would ask this question, and I would say, so why do you think this one is better than that? I'm waiting for you to read the question. Do you want to answer? How do you feel? Do you want to try and answer? All right. It helps us understand, why does the tilt matter? So the Earth is tilted, so what? And here, once again, and I'm happy, it's a perfect example here about we have groups of people, the majority either thinks number 1 or number 5. Let's look again. So if the closest the Earth to the Sun that matters, and number 5 is the tilt changes the angle of incidence. Now, I thought the angle of incidence, because a lot of people choose smart words, they think that must be the right one. So if I were in grade 2, would I be asking the angle of incidence? Probably not. But if I want, I can discuss it with the students, and then it's going to be your vocabulary word on the board if you discuss what it means. But your goal is to teach them, do not use words you don't understand, because you have to be able to explain it in simple words to anybody. And this is a whole, after this one, you can investigate, what does number 1 mean? Is this true that one is closer to the other one? Is it true, and how do you know that this is true? And then you use this technology to solicit students' responses and also generate a discussion that I think would not be as vibrant as it could have been before. Because before it would have been a couple of smart students thinking. For example, I would have asked Joe and he would have said something, and if everybody knows Joe is a smart guy, the majority will side it with him. And usually a lot of quiet people who are very smart too will sit silently and not participate. And I think this technology can change the dynamic of the classroom. So are those powerful clicker questions? And how do you define powerful? I know Alan is going to say, so how do we define the word powerful? And I would say powerful clicker questions are questions that generate higher order discussions. They generate discussions. How do you know that? What is your evidence? Again, we're talking about mathematics and science. What is your evidence? Why this is a better idea than that? Those I consider to be powerful. Maybe in the language classroom, powerful discussions will be different. But to me, powerful discussions mean discussions at a higher order thinking. And because I'm a physics teacher, I want to ask you a question that is close to my heart. It's not grade 2. I would say it is probably grade 3. Yeah. It's even up to that question. I don't want to put you down. But the question is about physics content. You have a cup filled to a certain level with the ice floating in it, and then the ice melts. What happens to the water level in the cup? Does it remain the same? Does it go up? Does it go down? Think of icebergs melting. Has something to do with it. Okay, now 14 people are awake. No, 16. Before it was 17, so somebody went to sleep. It's also a good indicator how many people are sleeping in the classroom. And then again, you can see that I can have this question and have the entire discussion with an experiment, debating with the students what this means. Do I use it for marks? No, I don't. I don't use it for marks. I use it to facilitate discussion in the classroom. And that is the last point I would like to make with this technology. Technologies are usually, don't worry about fractions, I know there's going to be a state of panic here. We're going to skip this. But the point of this presentation is to tell you technology is not good or bad by itself. Technology is good or bad depending on how you want to use it. I use this technology to allow every student in my classroom to have a voice and every student to have an idea. And then discuss it with your neighbor. Convince your neighbor that your answer makes sense. Maybe listen. Listening is very important. And then together come up with better ideas. Every student in my classroom having this can have a voice. Is it easy for me? No, it isn't. I have to think of really good questions to ask. But that's the power of being a good teacher. And now I'd like to open your discussion because a lot of you are teachers, some of you teach other subjects, some of you, if you're not teachers, you have been students. What do you think about it? We have about 2 minutes for your questions. Please. I'm absolutely serious. You can ask. What do you think? Do you think it will make a difference in the classroom?
I have a question. How much does it cost?
This system depends. A lot of schools buy it. It's about $30 per this. The future is smartphones. I brought this, but I believe it's going to be smartphones.
So $30 for this or $30 for?
No, it's for one. But a lot of schools purchase it with smart boards. If you've ever heard, there are smart boards. They come together. Now it's not going to be an issue of how much it costs because it's going to get cheaper and cheaper. I think the real issue is coming up with good questions and convincing teachers that it's better to give control to the students to ask questions versus lecturing. Yes, please. Good question.
One thing about this, I found myself anyway thinking more about this thing and stuff and paying less attention to your words.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's called the novelty effect.
Yeah.
And for the kids, it's true. At the beginning, it is a gadget. At the end, they're so used to it that it's not an issue anymore. But the first time you use it, absolutely, you're absolutely right. But people get used to anything.
But I think it is a great tool because a lot of kids in
Good
schools
point.
are very shy and they will, even if they're smart and they know, they will never answer or say anything in front of other people, and that gives them the ability to have their impact.
Very good point. Yes?
I break this into 2 areas. One is asking good questions, and the other is the technology. The asking the thoughtful questions really, in my mind, is where it's at. The critical analysis, getting people to think about why you chose an answer. That's where we
It's
need
an
to go.
excellent point, and I would love to talk to you about it. I hope you learned a little bit about how you can teach with technology more interactively. Thank you so much. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you.